Okay, so something super exciting happened yesterday. The Victron inverter finally arrived in the post. A big truck came up and they, with a forklift pallet trolley, wheeled this thing in, and they've dumped it here in the garage. Really heavy, didn't have the means to carry it into the workshop, so they just put it here with a load of other stuff yesterday afternoon. Now, the interesting thing is I've never seen anything shipped or packed quite like this. It's come in a plywood box screwed together. I guess because, yeah, this is kind of an expensive piece of kit. It cost almost 6,000 euros. It's the top of the range Victron inverter, and I guess they don't want to have it damaged in transit. So I'm going to unpack it now. Okay, so there we go. So this whole thing is screwed together. I'm keeping all these screws and the brackets because they're all useful things. I'll tell you, this box must have cost like, 50, 60, maybe even 100 euros. The price of plywood these days. I'm currently paying, I think it's something like 60 euros for a sheet of like low-grade plywood. Crazy, it must be half a sheet in this. And then we've got all these metal brackets and screws, and so I'm keeping all these things. I mean, look at that. That'd be useful for something. A extra star, I think, an A star for packaging. It's like in one of those movies where they have shipping containers that have like coffee and then drugs underneath. They always come in those wooden crates, don't they? I think it's Beverly Hills Cop. That's what this reminds me of. I have to be really careful that I collect up all these screws afterwards. I think I got most of them here. So I don't want to drive over any of these screws because this is the garage, because I'll get a puncture. Oh. And here we go. Oh, I can see the Victron blue. I can see the blue of the Victron inverter. Okay, so we've got something on the top here. This must be some sort of bracket, some sort of wall mounting kit, I guess. That's my guess anyway. Don't need that. Don't need that. Got a nice, an actual real paper instruction book. Oh, that's nice, not a PDF document. I hate it when you buy equipment and it just comes with a PDF you've got to download. An actual real book, I can sit on my sofa in my living room and actually read it. And it's actually not only, is it in French? Yay, it's in English, French, German, brilliant. A lot of stuff I buy in France, the instructions are only in French, and then I have to go and hunt down the English manual, so excellent. So I've got an English manual, so I can actually read it. Oh, it's bigger than I thought. Let me show you. My gosh, this thing is a beast. Look at this. The Victron Quattro. 48 volt, 15,000 VA, 200 amps. And the great thing is, if we find this isn't enough power, we don't have enough capacity with this, I'm hoping we can get away with one of these per house. You can actually buy a second one and then daisy chain them together. So you can kind of infinitely almost increase your power. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably be having one of these per house. And like I said, if it's not enough power, we can just add on another one. And I'm guessing this thing is going to weigh an absolute ton. So this thing weighs an absolute ton. So the builder's arriving in about 10 minutes time to start work on the plant room. So once the builder arrives, I think I'm going to get his help and also maybe get Dave as well, my husband Dave, and there's also my brother-in-law and his family staying next door. So I think we might get them all over, and 3 or 4 of us can all lift this thing and carry it into the workshop. It is that heavy and that big. It's much deeper than I thought. You know, I've been looking at videos on YouTube and things like this, but you don't really get a sense of scale until you see it. I mean, this thing is like this deep, just that thick. It's crazy, it's almost 2 foot thick. I guess because it's the biggest one they do. And hence why in the plant room, we're going to reinforce one wall. So we're going to actually put like lots of extra timber in it. And maybe rather than line that wall with plasterboard, we're probably just going to line that whole wall with thick plywood so that we can mount something that big and heavy to the wall. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. And so that's the Victron Quattro inverter. Should be interesting once we start getting that unpacked and hooked up.